Hi there, my name is John Lee Brody. Karen Melissa Garcia Torres. Thank you for having me
You're welcome.
and for wanting to ask me questions about what I do.
What's your job?
I'm a writer, director, sometimes I'm an actor. I like to think of myself as a full-time professional nerd as well. Basically, I'm in the entertainment industry and I'm very blessed to be doing that.
Did you establish a purpose for your life?
Live your life to the fullest. It's not so much get the best job you can, which is always a good thing, but really what you want to do. I mean, James Dean once said, dream as if you'll live forever, but live as if you'll die today. And that's really my purpose. I want to just keep going and not hold anything back.
Did you document that purpose?
You know, in a way I do. I do like to create vision boards. So if you want maybe a new house or you want a new car, you write that down, you place that in front of you and you really manifest that. So in a way I do, but when it comes to goals, for sure I like to write them down and remind myself that this is why I do what I do. So I highly recommend that.
Who motivated you to achieve your goals?
My mom, my dad, my older brother, my younger brother, my family and friends. I've met a lot of really awesome people. I have a really awesome mentors in the entertainment industry, and watching them achieve such awesome things really motivates me, but showing that that's where I could be if I'm willing to work as hard as they do. And they always remind me that, you know, I belong in that field. So, you know, having a good support system around you is definitely important. But the best support system you could have is yourself. It has to come from within. You have to believe that you can do it, that you're worthy of it, and when you have that, others around you will buy into it. So it starts from within, but having the outside help is definitely a good thing.
What challenges did you have to cope with?
In the entertainment industry alone, the competition is so cutthroat. There's so few jobs and there's so many people. Maybe 95% of actors are unemployed. It's that 5%, the ones that are on movies, on TV shows. So it's a challenge because, you know, you meet people along the way that are your friends, but at the same time you have to compete against them. And, you know, sometimes there's other challenges where there might be diversity things. But that's just a part of it. Sometimes people just, you know, they think a certain way. You have to just keep moving forward. There's always going to be somebody telling you can't do something. No matter who you are, you can be the most successful person in the world, but there's always going to be somebody that probably doesn't like you and is going to tell you that you can't do it. My advice to that is let them. You can't stop them from saying it, but you can control how you react to it. And that's something I always like to remember is, you know, people are going to say negative things, and that's going to be out of my control, but we have 100% control of how we react to those comments. So if someone's going to say something negative, then are we going to choose to be motivated by it and do our best and maybe prove them wrong? Or are we going to choose to just kind of feel sorry for ourselves and maybe believe what they say?
What are the things you have achieved?
I've been lucky enough to win awards as a director, as a writer, as an actor. I was an All-American football player, played football in college, was very close to going to the NFL, but hurt my knee. That's an achievement just to get to the college level. That's a very small percentage of high school athletes that get to do that, let alone going from there to the NFL. And it's an achievement just taking that leap of faith and saying, I want to be an actor, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be whatever. It's an achievement just stating that and being bold enough to put that out there in the universe and, you know, getting accepted into school. You know, we look at achievements as these grandiose, you know, things, but the truth is every little victory, no matter how big or small, is huge. You know, and that's the way I like to look at it. I don't think you should look at achievements as it's only when you get a very grandiose Nobel Prize, which is great. I'm not going to take away from that. When you focus on the journey and really embrace the journey and really remind yourself, wow, I'm really lucky to be doing this. Would I like to be an Oscar-winning writer-director? Absolutely. Okay, it's such a blessing that this is what I do. And I like to remind myself of that. And that's an achievement, to be doing something that you really want to be doing. And that's something you need to remember.
What would you say to the students so they can achieve their goals and purposes of life?
Just go for it. That's my advice. You're going to encounter so many people on the way. Some of them are going to encourage you and tell you can do anything. Some of them are going to tell you you can't do anything. You know, and don't let somebody tell you that you can't do it or that it can't be done. How do they know? You know, the worst thing that'll happen is you try it and it doesn't work out. It's happened before. It's not the end of the world. It stinks, but the fact is, if you're bold enough to even take that chance, and if it works out, great. If not, then you at least know. You're not going to wonder the rest of your life, was I good enough? Could I have done it? I would much rather, you know, fail at something than not even try it, to take on that mentality as well. I mean, failure is not fun, but I would not erase any of the failures I've had, but it's always a learning experience. And the last bit of advice I'll give you is don't let the fear of failure keep you from trying something, because failure is an inevitable part of life. And to say you're not going to do something because you're afraid of failing, that means you're not going to live. And remember this, behind every no is a bigger yes. So I truly believe that. Sadly, and I'm not trying to be a downer, you're going to fall a couple times, you're going to fail a few times, you're going to get rejected a few times. Whether that's for a job, think about how many times something didn't work out and you were really, really bummed. But then something else came along that was so much better. And that thing that was so much better would not be possible had the other thing worked out. Because it's all part of it. Just keep that in mind. Because failure is an essential part of the journey. You can do anything you want. You can let anybody tell you otherwise. You know why? Because you can always prove them wrong. Thank you very much for allowing me to answer questions, and may the force be